Hello everyone, Weather Jamaica here. Welcome to this updated video on the weather across Jamaica and the Caribbean. It is Thursday evening, January 5th, 2023. Now before we jump into it, please ensure that you guys like the video, share it, subscribe and tap the notification bell so that you'll be notified every time I post a brand new video. Also, feel free to leave a comment down in the comment section letting me know what the weather has been like in your area recently. Also, feel free to ask any weather related question that you might have about the future of the weather in your area. I respond to all comments and I really live for this stuff. Alright, so let us take a look at the significant feature map across the Atlantic for this evening. We can still see that we have a high pressure ridge dominating the entire Atlantic region, sending all of the activity from east to west. So the trough was over here to the northeastern portion of the Caribbean basin, and now it's moving towards the west. It's still affecting portions of Puerto Rico and the Dominican Republic at this time. And we can also see that we have a cold front right there off the eastern coast of the United States affecting portions of Florida. And if we actually take a look back at the satellite images, we can see the clouds associated with that trough bringing lots of overcast skies and showers to portions of Puerto Rico and Hispaniola. And we can also see the clouds associated with that cold front off the coast of the eastern United States, still stretching all the way across portions of Florida into the Gulf of Mexico. We're going to be talking more about that later on. Let's talk about what happened across Jamaica today. So a post was made on our Twitter page at 8:21 a.m. and it showed some amount of clouds bringing overcast skies and showers to portions of northern Jamaica. So Hanover, St. James, Trelawney, St. Anna and St. Mary might have gotten on some amount of rainfall this morning. Then in the afternoon we had a buildup of clouds over southern Jamaica, so portions of St. Andrew, portions of St. Catherine, Clarendon, Manchester and St. Elizabeth got in on some of that rainfall. And if you actually take a look at the actual satellite images all the way up into the evening hours that we're recording right now, we can still see that even when the sun went down, we got some amount of clouds still affecting portions of St. Elizabeth in the evening hours with some rainfall. And when we actually look at Doppler radar images, we can see the green and the yellows that represent that amount of rainfall across portions of St. Elizabeth. Alright, so let us take a look at the temperatures across the island right now. We can see that we have 25 degrees Celsius in Moira Bay. You can see 25 degrees Celsius in Falmouth, 25 degrees Celsius in Black River, and 22 degrees Celsius in Chapelton in Clarendon. And the temperature should get lower as the night progresses. Let's talk about temperatures for tomorrow. We can see that both the Euro and the GFS model are showing white. And when you look at the key, the white represents average temperatures. And what are the average temperatures for the month of January? That's 86 degrees Fahrenheit, and when that's calculated, that's about 30 degrees Celsius during the day. And both maps are showing 1 p.m. 18Z's 1 p.m. on Friday, so that's what's expected across the island. In terms of temperatures, however, we're expecting to receive an easterly flow across the island with more of the strongest winds from 10 to 15 to 20 knots across portions of the south coast of Jamaica. Both models are showing this, both the Euro and the GFS. And if we actually take a look, we can see that most of that area will be piling up across portions of western Jamaica. So where do we have the least amount of wind? Over there across western Jamaica. So if there's any afternoon convection, it will be over that section. And with the wind shear coming in from the north, any afternoon convection that we get to form cumulonimbus clouds, even although it's not the thunderstorm season, we can get most of that activity bringing overcast skies and showers mainly to the southern portions of the island. And both the Euro and the GFS are in agreement that we're going to be receiving some northwesterly wind shear across the island tomorrow. As it relates to the precipitation forecast, however, we can see that we're having a lot of blues being in the forecast. This is 4 a.m. on the Euro. We can also see a lot of blues offshore the north and the south coast. And we see something similar on the GFS, something very similar at 4 a.m. Looking ahead, look at this. This is midday on Friday. We still have a lot of blues across the island, especially off the coast south of Jamaica right there. Same thing on the GFS, lots of blues represent some amount of rainfall at 12 p.m. especially during the afternoon. Look at 3 p.m. over central and western Jamaica. Look at St. Elizabeth getting in on some of those yellows and oranges. A lot of rainfall on the Euro model. The GFS not so robust, but yes, we still have some blues across portions of most parishes. And when we have consensus like this, the chances of it actually happening are much higher. So get yourself ready for a lot of rain tomorrow. If we actually take a look at the accumulated precipitation forecast, this map is showing all the rainfall that's expected from now up until 3Z on Saturday. When we calculate that, that's all the rainfall that's expected from now up until 10 p.m. on Friday. Look at all of this rainfall, up to 0.49 of an inch of rainfall across portions of western Jamaica, up to 0.64 of an inch of rainfall expected across portions of eastern Jamaica. The GFS is not as robust as the Euro, but yes, we still have some amount of rainfall that's predicted to affect portions of the island tomorrow on both maps. So get yourselves ready for a lot of rainfall tomorrow. Alright, so that's it for the forecast across Jamaica. Let's take a look back at the significant feature map and the Caribbean. So yes, we have a lot of low-level clouds still streaking into portions of the Caribbean. We can also see that we have a lot of high-level clouds blowing off of the South America area. All of those high-level clouds are not going to be causing much of anything across the basin. It's at this time of year, it's the low-level clouds that we have to worry about across portions of the Eastern Caribbean. So we can see that we have a lot of clouds coming into portions of the Eastern Caribbean still. So portions of Barbados, portions of St. Vincent still getting in on some of the rainfall. We can also see a lot of rainfall across portions of the northern sections of South America. So as usual, Venezuela, Guyana, Suriname, and French Guiana getting in on some of that rainfall. And if we actually take a look at the Doppler radar images across the northeastern Caribbean, we can see that yes, we have some greens that represent some amount of rainfall across portions of the Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, the British and US Virgin Islands, sections of the Leeward Islands as well. And if we actually take a look at the Barbados here, we can see that yes, we have some amount of rainfall coming into portions of Barbados, sections to the west of Barbados as well. So as stated, Grenada, St. Vincent, even some coming into portions of Tobago right there. And if we actually take a look at the wider view, we can also see that yes, we have some amount of rainfall across portions of Guatemala, portions of Mexico right there. You can also see some rainfall to the north of the ABC Islands right there. And if you actually take a look right there, just as stated, just as seen on the satellite images, we have some amount of rainfall across portions of Guyana and sections of Suriname as well. Let's talk about the wind forecast for tomorrow. So we can see a northeasterly flow across portions of Central America, more of an easterly flow across portions of the Eastern Caribbean into the Central Caribbean, and that is being shown on both maps. So we can expect anywhere from 10 to 25 knots, especially across the Eastern Caribbean is where we're going to be having the strongest winds. Let's talk about rainfall now. We already spoke about Jamaica. Let's talk about the rest of the Caribbean. So look at this: portions of Cuba, Hispaniola, portions of eastern Puerto Rico, portions of the ABC Islands, portions of Nicaragua and Honduras might get in on some amount of rainfall tomorrow. And when we actually take a look at the GFS model, there is consensus with the amount of rainfall, so we can expect anywhere from 0.05 to almost an inch of rainfall across these areas that were just mentioned. And we know that when we have consensus like this, the chances of it actually happening are much greater. Let's take a look at the western portions of the basin. So as stated, portions of Honduras, portions of Belize might get in on some of the rainfall, Guatemala as well. Look at that, portions of Mexico might get in on some of the rainfall as well, and the GFS model agrees with this. So let's see what happens. Let's see what actually happens tomorrow. Alright, so that's it for today. Thanks for watching.